Okay, you guys, we are back with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about Kimora Lee Simmons removing the Simmons from her last name as she seeks to rebrand her name and personal mark as a businesswoman. This could also have something to do with the ongoing lawsuit that Russell Simmons has against her as it relates to his Celsius stock that Russell has accused her of stealing to get Tim Leissner out of jail. In case you guys have missed it, Russell Simmons was one of the earlier investors along with Kobe Bryant in the Celsius brand. And his investment, he invested a pretty penny, and the pretty penny turned out to be fruitfully rewarding to Russell. But because Russell had an amazing relationship with Kimora even after the divorce, they would do everything together as a family. He trusted her with his handlings of his business and when he was leaving the United States. Even when Kimora moved on to marry Tim, Russell was very supportive. Russell is the godfather to all the kids that Kimora has had after her divorce from Russell. And, Russell would always say they are and will always be a family, and Kimora would always say the same thing. However, when Tim Leissner, the disgraced banker, he's a banker, he was caught up in the alleged fraudulent or theft of the Malaysian sovereign government fund, where it is said that he took 1 billion Malaysian dollars. And when he was, when they discovered it, that he took the money, he had to pay up some of the money up front in order to avoid jail time. Now, Russell believed that that money that was paid up front came from his Celsius shares that Kimora went into and took the shares, and she basically, shares translates to dollars. So Kimora used up a portion of Russell's share to keep Tim out of prison. Now, after that, Russell took Kimora to court, and Kimora and Tim wrote to the judge in their response to Russell, saying that under California Free Speech Act, they're entitled to Russell's money, and as such, the judge should toss the case out. I kid you not, yes, that's what they told the judge. They told the judge that under California Free Speech Act, they are entitled to Russell's money. And the judge was like, you're talking bullshit. Not verbatim, but the judge was like, oh, free speech is not you being entitled to someone money. It's words. And even though it's words, it doesn't mean that you will not be held accountable for some words that you may use. Do you know how they say? Not because you have freedom of expression, it doesn't mean that you're entitled to go anywhere and say just about anything. Yes, Kimora was educated and scolded by the judge, her and Tim, and the judge said as such the case is going to move forward. And then when the judge said the case was going to move forward, Kimora then said that Russell thought that the stocks were useless, something to that effect, allegedly. And now Kimora is in another predicament because the house that Tim bought with the stolen funds, the government has given Kimora notice to vacate the premises. So Tim testified under oath that the $25 million mansion, it was bought with the Malaysian stolen funds, right? After Tim bought the house, Tim sold the house to a real estate group. They deal with high-profile real estate in like the United States, Dubai, and the Caribbean. So Tim sold the house after buying it to a real estate group, right? And then Tim told them that he still wanted to live there. They told him that if he wanted to still live there, he would have to pay them $60,000 monthly in rent. Kimora claims that Tim tricked her into getting her signing off on the sale of the home. That's what she said, because the court is saying Kimora's signature is on the sale, of the property. Kimora also authorized the sale of the mansion that Tim bought with the stolen Malaysian funds. Kimora said Tim tricked her. She didn't know what she was signing. Okay? So, Kimora also claims that she has been paying mortgage, but she couldn't be paying mortgage when Tim resold the house to the real estate brothers. She was paying rent and not mortgage. So now everyone has lost. The real estate group has lost because Tim sold the house to the real estate group. The real estate group cannot even keep the home because the money was bought with stolen funds. So they're going to have to go after Tim and Kimora to get back their money. Kimora is saying that she's not leaving the mansion because she has been paying mortgage, but she can't be paying mortgage when the house was sold. So Kimora has a lot of legalities going on with her, and it all has to do with finances. It has to do with one husband scheming her, robbing her, which would be Tim, and then she's scheming and robbing an ex-husband, allegedly, which would be Russell. So you see how it's going? So now she has removed Simmons, but she will always be Kimora Lee Simmons. So removing it doesn't make sense. It's like Kanye West changing his name to Ye. Some people will say Ye, but it's gonna be always Kanye West. So Kimora has changed her name, so she'll go now by Kimora Lee. They're saying, as per the Jasmine brand, they're saying the change marks a personal reset for the businesswoman who had continued using the Simmons surname long after her divorce from music executive Russell Simmons. In a formal statement, Sleeve made it clear the decision was deliberate and symbolic. I'm curious why she never changed to Leissner after she married to that man. She never changed to his name, and I don't think she could have, because it is also said that Tim Leissner marriage to Kimora was not legal because Tim was tied in a marriage to another woman. It's one heck of a mess, one heck of a drama. But you know what I'm going to say out of all honesty? Kimora has been horrible to the person who has been the nicest to her, Russell. Kimora has been really horrible to Russell, and Russell has really been the nicest to her out of everyone, based on what I observe from the outside looking in. The games that she plays with Russell and how she manipulates Russell, none of the other men gave her that chance. And to be very frank, I don't think any of the other men ever loved her. I think they loved the fact that she was with Russell and she built an empire with Russell. I think that's all they loved about Kimora. Not that she's not lovable, not that she's not gorgeous nor beautiful. I think they were obsessed with her because she is the Kimora Lee Simmons. So let's see her navigate through not having that Simmons. Yeah, we know that Russell has his allegations out there against him, but Kimora Lee Simmons that name will always be a powerhouse and a memory for a lot of people. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your comment below, and we're gonna talk some more in the comment section. Peace.